of Dawn. It's Dawn Lombardi, your hostess with the mostest, and it's Jason DeCarolis. Finally, Jason, one of my favorite people in the world. We call him Coachie because he coaches sports and does a lot for the sports world. Hockey season's over, so that's why he's here. So we are so happy to have Coachie here. He is from Bristol. I think you're from Bristol.
Yes, that's correct.
You've lived there your whole life. I'm not sure.
That is correct.
Your whole life. And did you go to school with Aaron Hernandez? That's probably a next question people want to know.
I went, well, he was around with football, with basketball, and then he did some other spring sports.
Wow.
Yes, I have. I've seen him around.
Yeah.
I've seen him around, and then unfortunately, what happened, after that wasn't too great. But,
yeah, that's okay, but it's amazing that people are from all areas. And we have, as a hockey fan, that he is Nick Bonino, or Bonini.
Nick Bonino, yep.
Nick Bonino is from Unionville.
Correct, who now plays for the Nashville Predators.
Plays for the National Predators, which I would assume is a hockey team.
Yes, out in Tennessee.
Out in Tennessee. So hi, Nick. It's one of your favorite fans here, and Jason, of course. So if you're watching Nick or Nick's parents, grab a brush. We're going to paint some stuff. I didn't watch the Stanley Cup, maybe a piece of it, because I like the violence. You know, I hate to say it, but it is kind of fun. It's like going to an action movie, right?
Yeah, it can be, but I'm a person who doesn't like the fights in hockey, unfortunately.
You don't.
Because it's just too much. It kills the time, and, it depends how long these players want to fight and duke it out. And it could be,
you don't like that?
No, it kills the game. It kills the game. It kills the game.
It kills the game. Now, would you say that horse racing is more dangerous to be a jockey or a hockey player?
Probably a hockey player by far.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. See, you didn't know that.
Even though for a jockey, when you're battling going down the stretch, you got to control that horse, because we had an incident during the Preakness where at the starting gate, the jockey decided, he falls, and the horse does the whole race by himself, even though it was a disqualification because the rider wasn't there.
Amazing. So not only does he know about hockey, but pretty much every single sport. He followed the World Cup. Is that what it's called?
The World Cup, yep.
World Cup with the women. Congratulations to the World Women's Cup. I think it's great. I know they're fighting over, equal pay. My stance it's probably more to do with entertainment and how many people are tuning in. So nothing against you.
And of course, it goes along with the men's soccer. This is because men's soccer, they're making more money. But what they're trying to do now for the next Women's World Cup, and they just started talking about it, they want to expand from 24 to 32 teams.
Wow.
Which I think would be really good. I think more countries have an opportunity to get in there to qualify and make it in 2023.
I think that's great. Yeah, we're all about the women's sports. It's great. We're so excited for them.
They need to keep on adding it, and especially in soccer, because you don't hear about it too much, because in professional soccer, with especially the United States, you get to see it between the World Cup and the Olympics.
Wow.
Really, you don't get to hear too much about it other than that. For the men, it all depends, because all over the countries, they follow one sport. And if your city, your team loses, someone will probably get killed if you lose, or that player will commit suicide because it was his fault the team lost.
Right. And I was saying to Coachie, we're going to start the Bruins symbol in a minute, but I said to Coachie, I went online and I got a Blues shirt for tonight. And I said, who is this guy? This shirt was so cheap. It was only $12 online because I was looking up cheap stuff. I said, who is this person? He goes, he said, that's why it was $12, because he was traded before they won the cup. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, it was traded 3 years ago, but he did win a ring with the Washington Capitals last year in 2018.
So I ordered this 2 weeks ago, not knowing he was traded 3 years ago. That's how much I know about hockey.
You never know. He could get shipped back to St. Louis. I've seen players go back to their other teams just because they missed being there with their teammates.
Gronkowski. You never know.
Yeah, we know, because he's been practicing with Tom Brady. I've seen the privacy, what's been going on there.
You never know.
So wouldn't be surprised if he misses the sport and he wants to come back one more year.
Now, if we look here, here's what we're going to do. We are going to do a Bruins logo. It's very easy. I practiced it before we, got down here. It's basically a pizza. So when you get a pizza, frozen pizza, because you go 1, cut it that way, 2, and then 3. And then you have, I can't do math, but he can. How many slices if I go 1, 2, 3?
Probably around maybe about 8 to 12 slices, depending the size of the pizza.
Depending on the size. This one I'm not sure, but just keep slicing like you're doing the pizza. Then you put a gigantic letter B in the middle. And then if you use your eraser correctly, you don't have to have all the lines. So I'm going to do it really quick, but we're still going to talk because it's really not about who's good at art or who can draw a symbol.
And just for the people to know what the B means for the Bruin symbol, it actually is a bear.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, those are his eyes?
That's a B, yeah. It is.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it is a bear because their alternate jersey when they did their original one back in the 1990s and I still have it. It was a yellow jersey with a big bear in the middle.
And a Bruin is, I believe, a bear that's like from the Alaskan region.
Yes, it is.
It is. Wow, I can't believe it. So there we go. That makes about sense because they have those big saber tooth. So what we're going to do is, I can put it here so people can see, but then I can't see Coachie. But that's okay. So we're going to start, and we'll look at mine first. I'm just going to make a big circle, around the outside, and then I'll show Coachie what I'm drawing. Now mine isn't perfect. See? And this is how I learned to draw a circle in school. People go, "Ow, well, you made a mistake." And I'm like, well, I don't have a pencil, first of all. But this is how you do it. You go until you find the perfect circle that you want, okay? Then I'm going to make another circle inside of that one, but it's going to be very thin. And I'm going to try to go, so it looks perfect going all the way around. It probably won't. A lot of people trace. You put the plate on there, trace around it. It's very easy. But we're just having fun. And, I just want to show you how to do a Bruin sign. This is called graphic design. So if you're an artist and you don't like painting, ceramics, clay, you want to be on a computer and you don't like messy, you like J. Crew clothes and Banana Republic and Brooks Brothers, and you don't want to get messy, then you belong at a computer creating logos. It's so great. So I'm going to make another line there. And then I'm going to make a gigantic B in the middle of it. And I'm going to put it back on the easel so you can see. The B is going to be big. And like Coachie said, it was a Bruins bear. Okay, so it's probably the two eyes. Made a big B right in the middle. So now if you ever played sports.
No, I never have played sports. I actually just managed sports, help out sports, and then when I got older, that's when I started running I started running the clock when I was in middle school. When I was 14, I didn't even make it to high school yet, and I'm already running a score clock for JV only because I wasn't allowed to do varsity yet and get paid until I graduated from high school. But they threw me on the varsity game my junior year in high school, so they couldn't find anybody because they were either sick or they couldn't make it.
No, or they can't do it. They give a scorecard to a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old. The kid gets busy doing something else, and they get the whole thing messed up. All the time.
I've seen it. I've seen people on the score clock. I've seen it before go like, yup, you don't know how to run a clock. I have to teach some people how to run it right so you don't get caught up, or especially at the end of the game where I had an incident where Bristol Central took on East Hartford for a girls' game. East Hartford thought they had tied the game with a three-pointer. But I had to wait for the referees to come over and tell me if the shot was good or not. I had very good ears listening.
No.
The buzzer did hit zeros before the shot went in.
I can't believe it.
And both coaches were waiting for me to say into it, and I was not afraid to say it. I was like, the shot went in, but it was after the horn went off. The game is over. Both referees looked.
See, and that's very hard because you're working with youth mostly.
Well, this is high school, so.
But still, I would imagine that people get heated up.
I have seen people get heated up. I've seen people get technical fouls. I've actually told a couple coaches to before the referees come over, I said, you better settle down, or you're going to get, unfortunately, a technical foul. And I'm like, I'm not a home court advantage person, so don't attempt.
And you're not afraid of people like that, not at all?
No, I'm not.
So you're not afraid to say, ma'am, you're getting out of control with this, you're going to have to leave? You can totally do that?
That I can't do when I'm running the clock.
But you could if you had to?
I could if they needed me to.
See, I get nervous like that. 47 was the year of the backbone. He's younger than my husband, so you got to be like 40.
I'm only 42.
40? My husband's 44. Woo! I'm 48. Oh, no, 58. That's right. See how great I look? Oh, gorgeous.
We were thinking 50th birthday for you in 2 more years, or what?
I told everybody on Martha's Vineyard I was 58. Everybody. They were like, honey, how do you do it? I'm like, oh, some work.
Well, I've had people tell me I look 18 or 21, so.
Some work done. So now we're just going to slice it in half like a pizza, but watch. You can avoid the B by just going like that. Now, if you can't, go right at it. See, this is where the director comes in handy. My director cat. She just said, hold it up so we can see it. Okay, we're going to slice it again this way. And then we're going to do it again, I think, or twice.
I think it's one. I think it's one more time.
So whether or not I do it twice or once, that's all it is for the Bruins. So once he has his Sharpie done, and I have mine done, I mean, the Sharpie is not going to hide the yellow. So remember, we're doing a 24-minute segment here. It's so fast. So it's not going to be perfect. But you know what? I want to talk more about sports. Now, what about parents? Did anybody play sports that are parents, uncles, aunts, any sport connection?
I've seen parents, you know, seen them play sports, and then after I see their kids get involved, you know, coming to the games, watching how the events go, and then I will see them come in and watch them play a sport. And it doesn't matter which one, because I will go to any event that I can if time allows me, as long as I don't.
You can do it time-wise.
Yes, correct, because I can make it to a soccer game, like a wrestling event.
I love it.
Or now doing lacrosse for the last 3 years, one of the authorities I get to do with this is with the officials, because at halftime I want to know what's going on, what's going to happen, or where are we in a warning situation where if an athlete gets thrown out, or like during a game this year, and during a boys, I had to tell the referees, one of the boys athletes had 5 minutes in penalties. I said, that's it, he's done.
That's it.
That's it, he was done. And unfortunately, he was like, really? I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, according to my penalty book list, you've equaled 5 minutes. That's it for you.
That's it. See? So you've got to be strict in the game. I noticed that my husband's so quiet, he would never coach. Well, who knows? He might coach the team, but he doesn't do that. So we don't have to worry about that, putting your kid in or.
Oh, I've had people tell me, you know, that, thinking that we should have more time and stuff, or like track and field, they think that the rules should bend a little bit. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. You can't bend the rules. You have to. Everybody has to be equal. You can't bend rules. I agree. I mean, there will be one or two things that sometimes you can't catch it right away, and I understand that. But you know, most of the time you'll be able to catch it and be able to move on. And you know, as long as you don't have complaints from anybody going on, then you know, we just continue on. Oh, you always will get your fair share.
Always complaints.
Always will get a fair share of it, and sometimes I will explain what's going on, and they're very firm about it. They won't go crazy. I mean, yeah, there will be times that they'll try and go to somebody else to see if they can overrule me, but it doesn't work.
Now, how about coaching? You get a lot of parents or mostly teachers from the high school coaching?
I've seen a mix of both.
My daughter just did a baseball clinic with Hodge. Nettie, what was her name? That lady. It was your baseball coach in Bristol. She ran a clinic. She was fantastic.
Monica Hayes, was it?
It was Monica Hayes. Yes, hi, Monica. Thank you. And then Monica, another girl, was doing volleyball, and it was Ferrigno's sister who does baseball in Farmington.
Yeah, because we just had our volleyball coach.
She was in fantastic shape. She goes, I just had a baby. I'm like, what?
Was it Holly or something like that? No.
Kind of tannish. She was in fantastic shape. I think
because I know there was a coach that just left, but I think I know who's coming in to fill in.
And she was helping Monica Hayes. And she was like a math teacher at Bristol Central.
Yeah, yep.
So what we're doing...
Monica now coaches basketball JV too.
It's amazing that they have a lot of teachers helping. Now, as telling Coachie, we're doing the yellow first, and he can do his at his own pace. He can do it later. We don't care. The yellow comes first because black and yellow, when you mix it together, it turns this nasty color. I'm going to show you. So watch. Yellow when you mix it with black. So basically, we're doing the yellow first because when we do the black, it'll dominate. Our Sharpie's still going to show through. But you know what? This is not like something he's getting paid. You know, I'm getting paid. We're not getting, we don't care. We're just having fun. So yellow and black, let me show you what it makes. You know, whatever. It's an okay color.
Eat your heart out, Bob Ross.
It's a pewter color. It's a pewter color. So now the final game at the Blues, that was home at the Bruins. What happened? Why didn't the Bruins win? Aren't they supposed to win the home?
I can explain to you that one very easily. In game 6, it all started when the Bruins
was better than
the Bruins and the St. Louis Blues actually had one of their players were suspended for that game too.
Here so he can see.
So Boston came out like gangbusters. They scored three unanswered goals. They were up 3-0. Ryan O'Reilly made it 3-1 even though the referees didn't see the puck cross the line, so they went to replay and to review, and that became 3-1. And then after that, the Bruins scored 3 straight. So you thought the Bruins were like, "Yup, momentum. You're in Boston. You got nothing to lose." But I said, "Yeah, but let's go back to when the Bruins played Vancouver back in 2011 in Vancouver when the Bruins beat them on the road." Yeah, well, Once the Blues, after the first 10 minutes of Game 7, the Bruins dominated. Here comes St. Louis out of nowhere, and especially when Brad Marchand goes to the bench on the second goal.
Brad Marchand is a Bruins player, am I right?
That is correct.
And that's not Patrice something?
No, that's not Patrice Bergeron, no.
Okay. Now, who's been on the Bruins the longest out of all the players?
As of right now, currently, Zdeno Chara.
Okay, and does he have more rings than Tom Brady? Ah.
No, Zdeno's only got 1 ring compared to 6 by Brady.
Oh my gosh! And you're a football fan too?
Yes, I'm a football fan.
Do you love Tom Brady, or is he not your
I
team?
like Tom Brady. I'm a Patriots fan, yes. But as you know, he's getting a little older, so we're thinking maybe one more year, he will be retiring.
Now we're doing this. Black will come easier. This will be next. And you know what? Later we can always go back and put together, but it's pretty easy having the right brush. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that. I kind of like the St. Louis Blues winning only because I know nothing about hockey and I know it was their first cup.
Well, not only that, I can tell you a story about how the Blues got back into it. Because,
how did they?
Well, they made a coaching change back on January after New Year's.
Who owns the team? Kenny Chesney?
No, not Kenny Chesney. When Mike Yeo, they fired Mike Yeo as the head coach back in January because they were the worst team in the league. They brought on an interim coach named Craig Berube, and he gave the opportunity to see what this team would do. And not only that, they changed goaltenders, so they replaced Jake Allen with Jordan Binnington in net, and he was a rookie. He did win Rookie of the Month in January. Because he played so well, and then the Blues had won 10 in a row.
Yeah.
So that got him back into a playoff spot. Then at the end, they kind of went eh. So they figured, okay, here comes the playoffs. And then first round was Winnipeg, beat them in 6 games. That was great. Then the second round, they played the Dallas Stars. And that was a hard-fought series. It went to double overtime before Patrick Maroon put the rebound in the net.
Yeah.
So his son was crying in the stands when he scored.
Oh, God. How old is he?
He's only 10.
Oh, God.
So that was a great moment for him. You know, his son was waiting for him in the locker room after the game was over.
Oh, God, that's so sad.
So here came San Jose in the third round. Now, unfortunately, one of the games St. Louis lost in that game, there was a hand pass that was missed. But the referees, unfortunately, that's one of the rules that they couldn't catch that because that's not under a review rule. So they couldn't go look. So the officials just look at each other and says, it's non-reviewable, game's over.
That's it? Really? Wow.
Yep.
Wow, wow,
so then
wow.
Game 6 came along, and St. Louis knew they didn't want to go back to San Jose for Game 7 to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. So they took care of that really fast. They won the Clarence Campbell Trophy. Ooh, that came out great.
Doesn't it look great? We still have like, Cat says, hold the painting, Dawn. It's not Jeff Goldblum has not turned into a fly yet. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I have. So then the Stanley Cup Finals came along. The Bruins won the first game.
Okay.
So
that
St.
was
Louis.
At Bruins.
First 2 games were in Boston. So then Game 2 came along. St. Louis got on it pretty quick. Then Boston answered. It was like 2-2 after one period. And then it went to overtime where I said, oh, boy, St. Louis is going to need to score a goal just to even it up. And then Carl Gunnarsson was the one who put the puck in the net.
That was it, huh?
Well, thank goodness it didn't go all night. It didn't go all night because I got a little worried. It could have gone all night long, especially for a final when you have to get up and go to work the next morning.
And you would never say, you know what, I'll just go to bed early, even though there's one
I had thought about it, and then I said, not for the Stanley Cup Finals. I won't do that. I'll stay up.
Now, in baseball, it's innings. What's it called for hockey?
Periods.
Oh, really?
20-minute periods.
20-minute periods.
Now the format changes for overtime. During the regular season, it's 5 minutes, 3-on-3. If nobody scores, it's a shootout.
Oh, my God.
But in the playoffs, if they're tied, you don't stop until somebody wins.
Jeez.
There's been a couple times where a game went to 5 overtimes one time, a long time ago. I remember it, too. Keith Primo scored that goal for Philadelphia, and everybody was falling asleep in the stands in Pittsburgh.
God.
And that game was like, it started at 7:30 at night, and I think it ended like at 2:08 in the morning.
Oh, my gosh. Now, as far as a Stanley Cup seat in the final game, what's more expensive, football, Patriots, or about the same?
It depends.
I
think it's the Super Bowl. Well, if you want to compare Super Bowl to the Stanley Cup Finals, It's still more expensive with the Super Bowl, but when you have a Game 7 for the hockey finals, you're going to be paying an arm and a leg.
And
I believe it was like 10, 15,000 for front row seats.
Now, name some celebrities that are huge hockey fans, just so we know. What do we have for?
Well,
people don't have to play hockey.
No,
right?
people don't have to play hockey, but I've seen like John McEnroe goes to all the New York Rangers games, who was a tennis great.
Oh, yes, okay.
Tom Hanks will go see the Los Angeles Kings play hockey.
Oh, my cousin is the owner, Dean Lombardi.
Yup, that's correct.
You don't know him, though. It's my husband's cousin, like fourth cousin.
The only bad thing is, unfortunately, Dean Lombardi did get fired from the Kings. They replaced him with Rob Blake. Yup.
Oh, what did he do bad?
Nothing. They just couldn't produce.
Nothing Robert Crafty?
No, couldn't just produce anymore after the Kings, after they won the Stanley Cup, they couldn't make the playoffs. And they fired their coach, Dwayne Sutter.
Oh, my gosh.
And they replaced him with John Stevens.
And I love all these guys. This is a very hard business, right, to own a team and run a team.
Well, look at
Las
Las Vegas when they came in the league last year. They knew when they had a draft they were going to get some great players. So all of a sudden, here comes Vegas, and first year they make the Stanley Cup Finals before Washington beats them in 5. But they had a great team. They had a great team. But the story with that team was in November they were playing their 5th stringer goaltender.
Okay, got it. And they what's a typical hockey career? Last 10 years, 5 years?
Depends if you keep your legs in shape. Zdeno Chara is going to be playing in his 21st or 22nd year coming up. He signed a 1-year contract extension.
Lots of injuries, right? Most sport with the most injuries, maybe hockey? You get to wear a lot of equipment.
Well, I think the number one problem they're trying to is the concussions.
Concussions in hockey, too, as well?
Yeah, but it's
Even
not...
though they have a helmet. God,
well, most of them now wear face shields.
Okay.
Because back then you didn't have, it was optional, but now if you came in the league at age 18, you had to wear a visor. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
And then in the minor leagues in the AHL league, you have to wear a visor regardless. It's the rule.
Wow.
It is a major rule. And if you take your helmet off during a fight, I believe you get 10-minute misconduct.
Wow.
If it happens again, then you get a game misconduct.
And how many penalties till you get thrown out of a game?
For fighting, it's 3.
Wow.
Three fights in a game by the same player, you're done.
3, wow.
For the night. And then if you get ejected from the games too, you could get a 1-game suspension if it starts to accumulate.
So while we're on that note, we've got a minute left, and we're going to keep rambling on because that's what I do. I don't like to say, and here's Johnny with the weather, because then Johnny's waiting forever and nothing's happening. So we're going to keep rambling. Thank you for coming on. I'm so excited. And
it's a pleasure to be on the show.
We love it. We're going to do a double segment. So we're going on to the Blues. We'll go whipping it up, having some pizza. Thanks, George, and they'll be here soon. We can't wait. And, you know, when you are in Ocean State, I would say your customer service, straight across the board, everybody is amazing at the Bristol one. I don't go to that many other Ocean States, so I can't speak for the other ones, but unbelievable. It's not, you know, where's a garden hose? Oh, over there in the corner by the shampoo. No. You know what they do? Come with me right this way. Is that the new, I mean, you gotta.
Most of the time, we will take you over to the item, unless we get stuck, we're busy doing something, or
and that
if I'm stuck ringing, then I got to tell them, when we tell them where to go, and you know.
And it's part of management and customer service, right?
Yes.
And then also, if you donate to the food pantry, they'll say, oh, do you want to donate to the Cancer Society?
Yes, we make an announcement over $5.
Go,
your name gets announced over that.
They'll go, Dawn just made a donation. Woohoo!
Yep. There's some customers who don't want to hear. We're like, you know what?
They don't like that?
No. We'll say, leave the store, and then we'll do the announcement.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I've done that.
It's a great store. I mean, I don't think a lot of stores are going out of business. I don't think, you know, you can buy Kat even with her organic eating. She's like, I go to Ocean State. I'm like, what? How do you eat organically, go to Ocean State? She goes, that whole section with all those grains and all that stuff, she uses all of that. Yep. So, you know, they do have all that health food. You think it's all like Snickers bars. No, they have everything. And then if you're planning a trip to the beach or going to Martha's Vineyard, they have everything. And then bathing suits, oh my gosh, the best bathing suits.
We still have some.